What's up, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the distance. Got another video for you guys tonight. I'm going to talk about Roy Jones breaking his hand, postponing his fight against Danny Santiago. Really something nobody cares about. I'm just going to cover on it anyway. But first off, a lot of people are talking about the faceless accounts and stuff. And I can guarantee you guys, Rooster for Life is not a faceless account. So, anyway, off of that, he's a cool guy, good guy, giving me the opportunity here on YouTube with the Boxing Union. So, but I know for a fact he's not a faceless account. But anyway, back to boxing. Roy Jones Jr. Has broken his hand. Now his battle against Danny Santiago is going to be postponed. And out of every fight that has been talked about on YouTube, I knew I was forgetting one. And I tend to talk about all the fights, and I try my best to the fights I know about, and definitely I do know about Roy Jones, but against Danny Santiago, I didn't care about this bout because just like many other YouTubers in the box community, this bout really didn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't do anything for Roy Jones, and it doesn't really do much for Danny Santiago. And for Danny Santiago, if he goes into the fight and he beats Roy Jones, then all he does is have a name on his resume, because Roy Jones has lost like two straight bouts, two of his latest bouts against Hopkins and against Danny Green, and now Santiago, another opponent, now with him losing the two top opponents and now pretty much no longer being ranked, victory over Roy Jones doesn't do anything but just put a name on his resume. That's all. And for Danny Santiago, a victory over Roy Jones is better than any other name on his resume. But at the same time, nobody cares about this bout. And with Roy Jones breaking his hand, shouldn't this be a sign of something for Roy Jones? And don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here hating on Roy Jones. I'm pretty much saying that it's time to hang the gloves up. It was time when he was defeated by Danny Green. That pretty much said everything. The loss to Danny Green, losing to Bernard Hopkins, losing to Joe Calzaghe, and basically a one-sided bout, an 11 rounds to one bout against the fighter who was pretty much in his prime, was on top of boxing at the time, one of the top fighters in boxing, was Joe Calzaghe, and he just dominated Roy Jones for from rounds 2 through 12. He just dominated him, practically won every single round, and played around with Roy Jones, and that's how you knew that Roy Jones just wasn't the same anymore. And he goes into the ring 2010, has a bout with Omar Sheikha and Jeff Lacey, but victories over Omar Sheikha and Jeff Lacey, two fighters that his last opponent, Joe Calzaghe, one who Joe Calzaghe absolutely exposed and dominated in 2006, and another who Joe Calzaghe beat 9 years ago. Victories over them didn't mean anything. And then he has a matchup against Danny Green. Everybody's thinking, wow, Roy Jones, he's going to go in there, he's going to beat Danny Green. And he doesn't beat him. He loses in the first round. But at the same time, there's controversy with that bout. There's controversy. But he still lost. He still lost. And then months later, he goes in and he loses to Bernard Hopkins, a fighter who I don't even think was too interested in him. Because remember, 8 months previously, for an interview with Stand and Fight and Mandatory Defense Boxing, Bernard Hopkins said in that interview with Ashley Knuckles, Joshua Jernigan, I have no interest in Roy Jones. And the video's up on there on Stand and Fight and Ashley Knuckles Boxing. So he loses fights to Danny Green, and he loses to Bernard Hopkins, who I don't think had any interest in even fighting him. Now he wants to fight Santiago. Santiago, I'm not even too familiar with him. I remember the name, but I probably forgot about him. Who knows? But victories over Santiago, whoever he fights, does nothing for him. Because all the top fighters, and maybe he'll have a chance against one of the light heavyweight champions, the WBA light heavyweight champion. Maybe he'll have a chance to fight him, a young fighter. Because with a young fighter who holds a belt, it could kind of signify a changing of a guard, but with Roy Jones it doesn't. Roy Jones to me was what he got me into boxing. I'll openly admit he got me into boxing. I sat when I was a kid and I watched Montel Griffith Montel Griffith versus Roy Jones 1. I watched that and was mesmerized by what he did in the ring, and the fact that he didn't really do anything basic. He was just athletic, quick, had power. Power in both hands, could knock you out with any punch, any type of counter using his reflexes. But now he's just a shell of his former self. I thought he should have just retired after the bout against Tarver, against Ruiz. Just retire on top. But some fighters have gone on too long, and Roy Jones is one of these fighters. So anyway, guys, Roy Jones breaks his hand, postpones his upcoming bout, but this should be a sign that his body's going away. In my eyes, I think it's a sign that his body's going away, and I think he just needs to stop. That's just what I think. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think. But until next time, guys, that was The Distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.